Mm-hmm. Yep, you need to learn Chinese. You know what to do. I was just watching an Evan Carmichael, that's an encouraging guy on YouTube if you haven't seen him, video. And in that video, they're saying successful people, they don't make excuses. It's only us less than successful, not quite there yet, folks, that like to make excuses. Me included. So, if you don't know me, my name's Kwadwo. I'm creator here at Elementary Chinese, giving you the day-to-day Chinese tips you need so that you can learn day-to-day Chinese to communicate what you want here in China, or inspiring you if you're in another country to get on it. Now, subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content, because I'm doing book reviews, interviewing other expats who can share Chinese tips with you, and also doing Chinese tips myself. Now, what does it take to learn Chinese? It takes consistency. Like, consistency! Jeez, and not making excuses. So I went to Shanghai. Hello, what's up? Alex Z3T. So I went to Shanghai 2 weekends ago. And I was interviewing some people from the Elementary Chinese fam. If you don't follow me on Instagram, get over there. It's pretty cool. And there's this guy that showed up. He's a DJ for the Shanghai Sharks. His name is Jamie, real name. And his Chinese is phenomenal. He's also been here for 10 years, just like me, except for his Chinese is like 2 or 3 times better than mine. Easy. And so I was a little intimidated. You know, my Chinese friend was there with us, and she was like tripping over her. I mean, there was like drool coming out of her mouth. She was like so impressed. His Chinese was that good. Jamie, if you're watching, you know you get this every day. And so I interviewed him, and I'm like, what did you do? You know, how did you do it? And he just said he was persistent. You know, he showed up here from the UK, and he decided he will learn Chinese. And he always spoke Chinese, no matter what, because he had to study too, and he had Chinese friends, you know, who wanted to speak more English than, who really wanted to speak English and not so much Chinese, but he just strove, and he did it. You know what? No excuses. Okay, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how to learn Chinese. But first, we got to get rid of excuses, because you know what to do. Here's another thing. If you've already gotten a little better at Chinese, then do more of what you did before. So it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if you're not here in China, or, you know, if you don't have the language environment. What did you already do? Just do more of that and work it until that doesn't return anything for you. But guess what? You'll be doing a lot. So do more of what you already did before. So I signed up for a program. Hey, this is a live stream. Thanks for reminding me to tell you this is a live stream. And I will be looking at questions right here on my trusty daddy computer. And I will respond to questions. So yeah, since this is a live stream, and since the VPN guys are still smashing on my VPN speeds a little bit, excuse me if it breaks up. I got a good VPN, but you know, this is China. Okay, what else? Get rid of all your excuses. Oh, be consistent. That's what I want to say. That's what I'm here today. I'm kind of sick. I was in bed, but I'm like, I will show up. I will show up. Be consistent. Like, if you've been here in China, if you're going to be in China for a year, you just got to be consistent at doing something simple. It doesn't matter how simple. I was telling some folks who are in my WeChat group, it's a paid WeChat class. It's what I do to teach you the everyday Chinese. But if you're in China, you're on WeChat, join the WeChat group. You have to pay money, but you will learn, right? And, you know, there's some people that are hanging out, more quiet, not really participating. And so I gave them an encouraging video. But basically it comes down to, you got to train yourself to be consistent. That means even if you have to start by training yourself just to ask questions, you must do it consistently. If you're just using an app like Duolingo, all right, I know you use Duolingo or Hello Chinese, right? But have you completed the app? In fact, leave a comment right now if you're watching on the replay. If you actually finished Duolingo, leave a comment. Tell me you finished it, okay? Like, brag a little bit. If you finished Hello Chinese, do the same thing. If you're watching live, like right now, I'm looking at the live chat. Did you finish one of those apps? See, be consistent. And you will get better. And also, we got to get rid of fear. It's like when I go live out in public or when I'm shooting videos, every time I'm scared, you know? And Chinese people are super encouraging, but it takes courage. It's scary to like go up and tell a Chinese person in a store, hey, I'm going to shoot this little video. I do them for Instagram. Uh, is it okay? You know, like to ask permission because they could tell me no. And, you know, if I'm just out in public or if I'm at the train station or if I'm sitting on a train or you know what's really scared? When in my WeChat group, the group class, it's pronunciation Friday and Saturday. And this is live, Whitney. It's a great question. And they ask me, or they're doing pronunciation practice, right? And so they're like, they say a phrase, and so then I gotta respond and correct that phrase. Now that's intimidating, right? Because there's Chinese people around me, and I can speak Chinese, yeah, but they're all listening to me. And on the train, you know, they saw me sit down, so they know like the Heiren is right there, 2 rows back, you know. And if I start speaking, people are like, you know, looking over their shoulder, looking at me, and it is intimidating. But you know why I do it? Well, I guess because the people that are paying in my WeChat group are paying for that service, but also I just gotta kick fear in the face and keep going. And that's what you have to do. I know, right? If you're on the bus, you just gotta try to speak. If you're buying some food, I know you could just take out your WeChat, pay, right? Without saying really anything. But you gotta kick fear and go for it. I know you could just call the DD and get to where you're going and just say a ting budong and not really talk to that driver because you know the question they're gonna ask you, right? Where are you from? How long you been here? Or maybe you have no idea what they're asking you. And so then you got a reason to be afraid. Okay? Kick fear in the face. Speak. All right? Let me get to a few questions and then I'm going to give you the quickest way to learn Chinese. That's your reward for watching to the end. Muhammad, what's up? The interview really got me. Oh, Muhammad Imam? Yeah, I'm going to actually cut a bit of his interview up and put it on Instagram because that guy knew what he was doing. He's back in Egypt now. It's too bad he's not here. He learned so much. It's this. Go watch it on my YouTube channel. If you're watching the replay, I'll drop a link to it in the description below. But yeah, this guy Muhammad, I ran into him about a year or so ago, and he learned really good Chinese. I was shocked how good he was because he told me at the time he'd only been in China for like 6 weeks. So that's a perfect example of somebody who didn't let any excuses bother them, who went and did what they need to do to learn Chinese in his home country, Egypt. So watch that link below. His word was 我学到什么你用它 Sorry. Yeah, well, that's what he said. Whatever you use, you have to use it. And it's true. You got to use what you learn. Whatever you learn, you have to use it. Almost hello Chinese. Finished. Hey, you did it, Dabu. Okay, cool. Immersion lesson in hello Chinese. Finish it up. Dabu, that's great. Finish it up. All right, one person finished the app that they're using. Welcome to the live stream. Apparently, I need to make for certain, or maybe my VPN is that good, right? Can you see my hands moving? This is live, right? What VPN do I do? I made a video on what VPN I use. For me, you do a lot practicing in taxi cab drivers. Thank you, Sammy, for sharing that. Because taxi cab drivers and Bao'an like to talk. And what if they don't say the right thing and you learn the wrong thing? So what? Who cares? You know what? I made a video where I was talking to Bao'an, because I always talk to my Bao'an. And the Bao'an taught me something wrong, and I put that video on Instagram. And my Chinese friends on Instagram kept telling me, that's not actually the right way to say it. You know, you shouldn't just ask Bao'an. And I'm like, shut up. No, I will always ask Bao'an. I always talk to people on the street. I don't care where they're from, because even if they teach me the wrong thing, as long as I'm diligent and consistent to continue communicating, I will figure out the right way. So I'm not going to make that an excuse. You speak Korean too, Whitney? That's pretty cool. Yes. Okay. Since there's no other comments, let me jump into the quickest way to learn Chinese. If you have another comment, leave a comment. If you're watching on the replay, well, say something in the comments. Also in the descriptions, I don't know if you knew already, but in the descriptions, there is a book. There's 2 books. If you want the best Chinese textbook, then go get it. All the other Chinese textbooks suck compared to this one. It's called Integrated Chinese. Go order it on Amazon. There's another book. It's a new one to my favorite list. I only have two on my favorite list, by the way. It's called Get Talking Chinese. It is everything that integrated Chinese is, but it's not a textbook. Just the useful Chinese to help you learn the phrases you need for day-to-day life. It's like they took me and they dumped me into a book with all the pretty pictures. Genius stuff. That's in the comments below. Also, so there you go. There you go. You don't have an excuse. Now, I don't have the right book. Well, you got the right book. I don't have audio to practice with. Those two books come with audio, so now you can practice with that. And if you haven't watched me before, I recommend you must practice with audio if you want to get your accent better. So, fastest way to learn Chinese is to get audio for a book and practice along with it. If you're here in China and you can't get these books I recommend on Amazon, go to your local Xinhua bookstore and get a book that comes with the audio CD, a textbook, and read it. That's it. Read along with the audio until you can do so as quickly as they can. No more excuses. Also, the quickest way to learn Chinese if you're starting from zero is you must master tones and, what else? Sounds. Tones and sounds. Have to right away. Otherwise, you're never going to have the confidence to communicate. And you're always going to question yourself, did I hear what they said? Did I hear right? So, how good do you need to be at tones and sounds? If a Chinese person says to you a word slowly, you need to be able to write that word in pinyin. That's it. Otherwise, how are you ever going to type in pinyin? Learn characters it takes time, but actually if you can type pinyin, then you can choose the characters, right? But if you can't do tones, or if you can't do pinyin, then how are you going to type? Learn the tones. Learn the pinyin. Let's do it yesterday. I'm actually making a tones course right now. And it will be available soon. I wish I had a link, but if you go to my online course, speakeverydaychinese.com, down below in the descriptions, you can take a course and get better at everyday Chinese and also work on your tones. But I'm going to have a special tones course specifically for working on tones. Just like my Instagram stories. If you follow me on Instagram, you love those Instagram stories for tones. But I'm actually going to put it into video format with some longer audio so you can get your tones right. Which brings me to my next quickest way to learn Chinese. You got to pay money for something. And no, it's not just so I can make money off of you. You need to pay because you're doing something free, and because it's free, you can do it or you don't have to do it today. Maybe you'll do it tomorrow. Maybe you won't because it was free. But you know what happens when you pay for something? Number one, the quality is better because that person makes a living off of that product, right? So they have time to put better quality into it, usually. Number two, because you actually paid some of your life, right? You have a job or whatever, you exchanged your life hours for that money. It's called having skin in the game. You have something invested. Therefore, you are more likely to make good on your commitment because you paid. It's that simple. People who pay for stuff actually end up doing more with the thing they paid for. This is science. So I have an online course, and it's not even expensive. It's $8 a month right now, today at least, for now. It probably will go up in the future, but this is November 20th, 2018. Lest you watch this video in 2019, you're like, Kwadwo, you said it's $8. Give it to me for cheap. Quit looking for cheap stuff and go invest in something that works, okay? SpeakEverydayChinese.com. This is a rant. Also, you know what? People that pay in the WeChat group. I'm there. I'm teaching. They learn. And you know why? Because they paid like 125 RMB a month or 175 RMB a month right now. And that's what's going on. Pay for something. It doesn't need to be me. It needs to be something that works for you. But go do it. Okay? That's the other tip. You need to speak as much as possible. I'm looking at the... Oh, yeah. Guys, there is something that can help you to pick up Chinese girls and boys who don't speak English, and you'll improve a lot. Sammy, beautiful. Well, I guess if you want to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, 10% battery life. I'm going to stop really soon. But yeah, that's another excuse. All my Chinese colleagues just want to practice English. All my Chinese classmates and the people that I met just want to practice English. Guess what? This is China. There's a lot of folks here who don't speak English. So kind of push, sidearm, like in football, get past the people that do want to speak English and go make some friends, right? who don't speak English. But guess what? You're going to have to struggle and it's going to be tough. But so is going to the gym to get stronger. That's tough too, right? If you just do something every day, something very little, you will get good at Chinese. So be consistent. Go find friends. Use what's practical in your life. Thank you. Like, study Chinese that you can use. That's another very quick way to learn Chinese. If you're using it, you will learn it. It doesn't matter how cool you thought it was. If you don't use it, you won't learn it. That's why I teach in the WeChat group the everyday Chinese. That's why I always say the everyday Chinese you need to communicate what you want. Because if you're not using it, you're not learning it. Like, I know you're a teacher. You teach here in China, right? Thanks for joining on the live stream. I taught here for, like 9 years. And you know Chinese kids, they learn a lot of vocabulary, but they can't use their language. So don't be one of those folks that just learns and learns but doesn't actually go outside and practice. Go outside and practice. I like how this live stream is working so well now. Can you like this video? Yeah. That way I know what's up. And also I know if I need to keep doing this kind of content. Some teachers have 80 students in one class, I've heard. That is very, very true. They do have 80 students in one class. Let's keep talking about learning Chinese, huh? So if you're consistent, if you pay for something, if you get rid of your excuses, if you practice like every day, if you use the thing that you're learning Chinese with, if you read along with audio, you'll learn. I'm actually trying to learn Spanish right now. You know what? I don't have a Spanish book, but I have an app. And I use it. Not as consistent as I should. I have another app that has Spanish books in it. I use that one a little more consistently, but I'm not there yet. I struggle with the same thing you do. Like, I'm really no different. And I found a YouTube channel. The last thing I'll leave you with is your interests. Use something you're interested in. Watch it a lot. So I like tech and iPhones and this sort of thing. So I found a tech review YouTube channel that's all in Spanish. And it's the kind of Spanish I want to learn. This guy's straight out of Mexico. So I watch it. And do I really know what he's saying? Kind of, because I already know enough about the subject to guess. And you know what? That really helps me. I'm on YouTube. It's called like Mano Tech or something. And even yesterday he kept saying like dispositivos, you know, dispositivos. And I was like, what is that? Devices. You know, beautiful. Find something that you need in your target language that you really like and work it. I had a girl who sent me a message on Instagram, or was it WeChat? I can't remember. Instagram, you know, and she's like, I'm HSK 5.6. Do you have any materials that you would recommend for me to get better at Chinese, etc., etc.? And I was like, you're HSK 5 or 6, one of the things you should do is just go find stuff that you're interested in and learn it. Immerse yourself in it. Read it. If you want to know how to write, you want to know how I was learning how to write way back in the day? I was looking at things that I liked, articles that I liked, and then I would try to write them. First, it started with copying, and then I would try to write from memory, you know? Like, you can do that with your textbook. If you're just starting out, and you can barely write a character, well, then you're going to learn how to write with simple characters. If you're already HSK 4 and you can write more than a little bit, well, then you can get your HSK 4 textbook and start trying to write or memorize a little paragraph, a little multiple choice question and write from memory. This is an HSK 5.6. I'm crying here to learn HSK 3. Dabu, like learning HSK 3 is not difficult. Where you're at is challenging for you, but to get to the next level, it's just hours, right? Like there's a finite number of hours. If this was math, it's like where you are right now plus X amount of hours equals HSK 4. Those hours that you have to spend aren't like changing. It won't go on forever. So you just take your listening and you listen to HSK specific material. There's so many YouTube channels about HSK. Pick one of them that has lots of followers and do it, you know? And then also there's HSK 3 vocabulary. You just got to memorize it. Get a flashcard app and memorize the vocabulary, right? There's only 6 HSK levels. I see that question, Whitney. 6 HSK levels. Dabu, that's it. So you got your listening done. You got your vocabulary done. Now you need to do some practice tests. Well, you can get an HSK 3 practice test book. Dabu, I forget, are you in China? Because if you're in China, just go to the bookstore. They're all over the place. But get an HSK3 practice test book. And then take the practice test. And then everything that you get wrong, go find a tutor and ask questions and figure out the right way. Like, that's it. And then you'll be at HSK4 in no time. You're on HSK5, Sammy? Do what I just said. And you'll be at HSK6. And, well, it will take time. But guess what? It's X. X marks the spot. It's a fixed number of hours. You guys, thanks for watching. Like this video if it was good for you, really. And also subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Why? Because I'm about to travel a little bit and you need to know when I go live. I will do my best. I haven't been consistent the last 2 weeks. I will do my best to get here live at 9 a.m. China time. But still, if you have the notification on, then you know when I go live. Absolute quickest way to learn Chinese is to get your tones right, work on that audio with whatever you're learning with, and get outside and practice as much as you can. Don't be afraid. Well, be afraid, but go anyway and do it. And don't make an excuse. If there's a, I would learn Chinese or I wish I was better, like, just quit wishing and go do it, right? I'm just 3 months studying Mandarin, just finished my HSK2. Dabu, perfect, good. Go in. Recruit as many hours as you can from your day to studying HSK3 stuff, and you will get to HSK3. Like, really, that's it. I want to be a lot better. So this guy, Jamie, to wrap it all up, he motivated me. He motivated me to find more Chinese friends and to speak Mandarin. Because my struggle is I can't talk Mandarin, actually, at length, in like lengthy conversations or expressing myself at length, you know? I specialize in the day-to-day Mandarin. This guy motivated me. I could be where he is. The only reason I'm not is because he worked harder. So, Jamie, thank you for motivating me. You worked harder than I did, which is why you are where I'm not. But I'm going to catch up to you. I'm going to catch up to you. Click or tap the screen right there if you want another video from Elementary Chinese. And if you haven't subscribed yet, there's that E right up there, or my face now. Do you like my new logo? Good study. Day up. See you guys later. There's only a few days left in the year, so make them count.